All right, the next one is educational requirements. So what would that be?
A.
All right, Aaliyah's not the only one up here. Even if you haven't done it, you should be able to put these together. Come on, guys, you gotta interact, you gotta talk. All right, educational requirements would be A, amount of school needed. All right, for working conditions, let's see who's on here. Trent, for working conditions, what would be the answer?
C.
C is correct. Thank you, Trent. So whether you work inside or outside. So that leaves retirement benefits would be things such as your 401k and your insurance. All right, down here it says fill in the blank with the correct words. Blank assets plus blank assets equals total assets. So Camry, what would this be?
Current assets plus, plus I forgot. I'm sorry.
So if it's not current, it is what? I kind of just told you, but
Non-current.
yeah, there you go. Non-current. So current assets plus non-current assets would give you your total assets. All right, number one, let's look at this. Items that can be quickly converted to cash or will be sold within 12 months. Some examples would be cash on hand, environmental and natural resources, checking and savings accounts, stocks, bonds, cash in value of life, insurance, money others owe you, and then current non-depreciable inventory. Dylan, can you give us this one? Current, yes, thank you. So current assets. All right, items that have a useful life of more than 1 year and are used in the business. They are non-current, non-depreciable inventory or land. What would that be, Eli?
You got like the one that I don't even know, like so.
Well, if this one's current.
Or not current assets. Then.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't do this one because I didn't know it. So.
That's all right. That's why we're going over it. All right, so analogies. So hopefully you've done some analogies in English maybe. So maybe you kind of already have a background in this, but if not, again, that's kind of why we're going over it. So assets are things that are owned, which would mean liabilities are what?
I put B.
B, debts is correct. Good, Leah. All right, and then current is within 12 months. So non-current would be what? Matthew. So current is something you have to pay off in 12 months. So non-current, you would have to pay off when?
Well, then B.
not B, but I can see how that can be confusing, definitely. But it would be C, after this year. So anything after 12 months is considered non-current. All right, inventory is a list of items owned. So blank would be items owned that cost a lot of money and lose value. So they don't hold their value, they lose value, and they cost a lot of money. So for example, a car, if you have, like I think we talked about, as soon as you drive the car off the lot, it starts to lose value. Spencer, what would this one be?
Is it current assets?
Not current assets. So an inventory is a list of items owned. So what would be items owned that cost a lot of money and lose value?
Is it B?
Yeah. Depreciable inventory. So depreciable just means that it loses value. All right, down here it says loan is a liability. So cash would be a what? So a loan, if you get a loan from the bank, then that means that's something you owe. You have to pay the bank back. So that's a liability, because a liability is something you owe. So cash, if you got cash in your hand, then that would be something you own, which would be a what?
Asset.
Asset. Good. All right, net worth blank, and a liability is debt. Okay, so I was confused on this one at first. So net worth is the same as blank, and liability is the same as a debt. So this one's actually going to be equity. Actually, sorry, D, total worth. Equity is technically something a little bit different. All right, let's go down to this next part. So the next part was kind of similar to what we did Tuesday. It gives you items here, and it wants you to mark if it's an asset or a liability. So you could put an A or an L. So Nick recently learned he had a long lost aunt in Delaware, and the aunt left behind a pet Welsh corgi whose name was Dakota. And she also left behind her own, Aunt Cece left everything she owned to her beloved pet. Okay. So now we found out that Nick has inherited the pet, and this caused a problem because they want to have some of the fortune. The other family members want some of the fortune. They had to figure out what he's actually gotten of his aunt's estate. He must complete a financial statement so that he knows if he must pay taxes, or if he can take a vacation with his newly found fiance. So we got to determine what all of this is. Yes, Elijah D. I think that was for the one before. Yes, you were correct. P. Okay. All right. So cash on hand, is that an asset or a liability?
Asset.
Asset. Thank you. Savings in a bank. Eli, is that an asset or a liability?
Liability.
Is it something you own or
Yeah.
something you owe?
I meant asset.
Yep.
I don't know what I said.
Good. So remember, asset is something that you own, that is yours. So if you have money in a bank, you can pull that out and spend it, so that is yours. A doggy cart, aka a golf cart, loan. So you have a loan out to pay for your doggy cart. So the bank is loaning you money to pay for it. So would that be an asset or a liability, Camry?
Liability.
Good, yep. All right, life insurance value, it's a death payment. Oh, wait. No, doggy park. Value of the doggy park is $250,000. So what would the value of the doggy park? Would that be an asset or a liability? If we come back up here and look, it talks about that Nick Aunt Cece owned a very popular local dog park, and that Dylan inherited that. So since she owned it, what would that be, Dylan? Is that gonna be an asset? Yep, an asset. Good. All right, life insurance value or death payment is $25,000. So that means that the aunt had life insurance of $25,000 that is paid to whoever her estate goes to after she dies when you have life insurance. So would that be an asset or a liability, Spencer?
Liability.
Not a liability. That would be an asset. I think I said it and made it sound like a liability because I was thinking that after I said it. So like the payment was paid to Nick. So like the life insurance company gave Nick money because his aunt died. So he now owns that money. So that would be the asset part of it. All right, the automatic sprinkler system that is owned by Nick. Would that be an asset or a liability, Trent? Trent, you there? All right, somebody help Trent out. Is this an asset or a liability?
Asset.
Thank you, Leah. All right, note due to bank for doggy feeders. So that means that's a payment that is due to the bank. So you owe the bank that money. So what would that be?
Liability.
Yeah. Thank you, Eli. All right, dog park memberships. So that is something people pay you each year so that they can go to the dog park. So would that be an asset or a liability?
asset.
Yeah, thank you. All right, microchip pet recovery scanner. So that is also something that you own to help, I guess, recover pets and scan their chips to see where they belong. And so since you own it, that would also be an asset. All right, and then an operating loan. So again, that loan is still current and you're paying on it. You still have it out, so that would be a liability. All right, what would be listed on the inventory? So inventory would be anything that you have that could depreciate in value or it could hold its value. So for inventory, the pet scanner would be one. The doggy golf cart itself would be one, not the loan, but the doggy golf cart. And then the sprinkler system. And the doggy feeders. Right, anybody see anything else that I might have missed? All right, I'll go on to the next part. All right, so then you're just dividing them into categories here. What are your current assets and non-current assets? So if we go up here and look, we have an asset of cash on hand and savings in the bank. Those can quickly be converted to cash, or it is cash, and you could spend it within 12 months. So those are both current. All right, let's go to our next asset, the value of the doggy park. So that would be a non-current asset. And then the life insurance value, or the death payment, would be something that you could quickly convert because it's technically probably cash that you have in the bank now from your aunt. And then the automatic sprinkler system would be a non-current because you may still be paying on it. And then dog park memberships, that would be something they're paying, so that could be converted to cash from the bank, so that would be a current asset. And then your microchip pet recovery scanner would be a non-current. All right, so then let's look at your liabilities. So we have 1, 2, 3 liabilities. So the doggy cart, golf cart loan, the note due to the bank for doggy feeders, and then the operating loan. So it doesn't say, it just says the full loan for the doggy cart. so that would be a non-current. Note due to the bank for doggy feeders, so that would be, since it says the note part, that means it would be the part that you're paying that year. So that would be current liability. And then your operating loan, it doesn't say that it's this year, so that would be a non-current. That's the total value of the loan. All right, if we go on down, this is just your actual statement, finance statement sheet. So if we're trying to figure out the net worth, what is the formula to figure out net worth? So what's our formula if we want to figure out net worth? You do total what minus total what?
Liabilities minus assets.
Other way around, but yes. So you do total assets, because that's everything you own minus everything you owe, which would be total liabilities. So everything you own minus everything you owe. All right, and then here, this is supposed to have some headers. All right, so here we would just take what we did up here and just transfer it. So we would transfer these four things under current assets. So cash on hand, savings in bank, cash death payment, and dog park membership. All right, then we go back up here and figure out all of their prices. So $550 and $1,500. Death payment is $25,000 and $30,000 for dog park membership. All right, and then your total, you would add all of that up and put that here. So 30, 55, 65, 70. So 70,550. Is that right? No, that's not right. $57.50. Let me get a calculator just to make sure. Did anybody else already add it and have it? $57.50. All right, and then you would go to your non-current assets and put those here, which is going to be your Dolly Park, sprinkler system, and microchip. So you may have to move. Then you'll put the prices here and you'll get a total. And then right here, you would put the total of both of them. So you would add $57.50 plus whatever total you get for all three of these and put that there. And then you go and you do it for liabilities, the same thing. And then down here, you'll use our formula from up there and do total assets, which you'll get here, and you'll minus it by your total liabilities to get your net worth, which you'll put right here. All right, any questions on that? Y'all should be able to finish that bottom part pretty easily if you haven't already. And again, make sure that you submit it so you get credit, because we did go through it together today, so you should pretty much have it done if you didn't before. Any questions? All right, if we look at the work for today, all right, you have, we're starting a smaller workbook, new workbook on your careers. And so this is the PowerPoint that goes with it. And then this is the Intro to Careers workbook. So you're just going to fill in the notes. On the directions, it says to do all of them today, but class went a little bit longer today. So if you want to go ahead, if you have time to go ahead and do all of them, you've got about 30 minutes, so you should be able to get through at least one, probably 2 pages, just depending on how you have to do it. I know with the iPads, it's kind of hard. So try to get through 2 of them today, and then I'll give you time tomorrow to finish this 3rd one. And we're going to go through and talk about some of this tomorrow as well. Any questions on that? No questions? All right, and again, just a reminder, check your grades. Progress reports will be going out. Make sure that you're doing your work and not getting behind. If you think you submitted something and it doesn't have a grade, that means I didn't get it. So make sure you submit it again through Canvas. I know sometimes it doesn't go through on Canvas right, so make sure that you do that again. If you don't have any questions or anything, you are free to go and have a great day.